Okay, and we'll just go accordingly. Um, since it's 9 o'clock, let's start right at 9 and try to stay on schedule. I know that you guys are all busy. Your time is valuable. You guys are planning for the year, and for some, it's a 3-day weekend, and that's a good thing for everybody. Here's the agenda. There's going to be a welcoming today. That's me. I'm going to do that in the cultural reverence side. I'm going to do that. And here's the rest of the agenda, folks. We're going to go through each one of the agenda items. And the agenda items would be something that has been updated or has changed a few words here and there to make it a little bit more focused. Um, and when we get to these agenda items, what I'll do is stop and explain some of the things. And some of the information is almost as general as it was last year. So I think just bringing everything up to date, it's something that we need to stay ahead of. Certainly, we don't want to go back in time. We want to go forward in time. So again, everybody, you're welcome. I welcome you guys to our first Title VI meeting in 2025, 2026. And I'm going to do the culture reverence today. So, just kind of bear with me for the next couple of minutes. Grandfather, it's an honor and responsibility to acknowledge who we meet here today. We gather on the land of the sacred land of the American Indians who came before us. We honor and recognize the Confederate tribes of Goshute, Skull Valley Band of Goshutes, the Northwest Band Shoshone Nation, Ute Indian Tribe and Ouray and Uinta Reservation, Northwestern Band Shoshone Nation, Ute Mountain Ute Tribe, San Juan Southern Paiute Tribe, and the Navajo Tribe. We pray this morning for all the LEAs, the Title VI programs, and all that they do, the support that they're given from the administration, the school districts, and the schools, teachers, faculty, staff, parents, and community. We pray for the students and their faculties, learning, comprehension, understanding, and their application of the process. May the students do well in school, be safe and attentive, and meet the challenges, and may they be gifted and reach their educational goals in their pathway of the educational system. Grant them safety, grant them knowledge for that application. These students are our future. And grandfather, take care of them. Help them seek that knowledge. Help them seek that challenge where they can overcome to become the best person that they can. We pray this day for that blessing upon them. And those blessings that they are needful, in need of, both students and parents, community and tribes, and our most important, are linked to the Title VI program coordinators. May they also be gifted with that vision to see what's available for them and seek that, and to have the financial helping with their programs and all those that are coming with the program. We ask this blessing and honor of you, grandfather. This we pray, and also the moisture that you have sent us. This is plentiful for us, but we need more of that moisture to meet the needs of our land. We thank you for that. And now, as we carry our duties and our responsibilities. We pray this, we pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Hey, let's start with the, let's see, let me pull that up. Madeline, do you have that? No, I do. Share this here. Coach. Name. You know. Hey, Madeline, do you have all those slides?
I do.
Let's, if you could find those slides, those are the ones I sent. I think I sent it in an order. My side is not, it's not doing well.
Right. Let's see.
Yeah, there you go. Um, this is our calendar for the year. Well, let me go back first. For those people who are new, I think there are a few. Um, you know, the people around the block have been around with you know, the agenda items. And the cultural reverence for the American Indian is really, really important because basically that sets the stage for us. Anytime that you have a large gathering of American Indians, especially their thought and their physical and their spirit, you know, we offer that cultural reverence. And in this case, I did a prayer for other cultural reverence areas. You know, they may share something as a story, things that they're working on, a book, a poem, something that will reflect their abilities to showcase who they are. So that's for those people who are new. That's what we go through as far as our protocol. We try to follow the the teachings of our ancestors because our ancestors were very, very spiritual people. And anytime that you have a large gathering, you know, that was one of the things that they would they offer was a prayer to the creator. And the creator, of course, you know, had a seat around the table. So in this case, that table has been set. You know, there's a chair there for everybody to sit on it, and we're going to share today. And as we share this information, you know, we'll also, you know, I'll entertain questions too. So we'll start from there. Now, Madeline, can you pull up the agenda, or not agenda, but the calendar for the year? Now, this is what we have here is the agenda dates as well as the month, the time, and all, of course, all our meetings are going to be virtual. Um, do you guys see the screen? Do you guys see the calendar?
Yeah.
Okay. The only change that we made was the 24th because I sent out an email whether you guys have conflicts with some of the dates, and the only one that came up was the October 17th one. So I changed that to October 24th. So this calendar here is the most recent. And at the end of our meeting, it's either myself or Madeline will send this out so you guys can pin this on your calendar in your office space. Um, let's go to the next, which is the formula grant, the formula grant sites. What we have is this is the sites that we have. We have 21 sites, and of course, you know, you have the school district as well as the coordinators and their email address. And you guys are free to use this to communicate because this is all public information. You know, sometimes it would say, well, you shouldn't be doing this and that, but you know, this is public information, so I'm just going to leave it there. We do have a couple new update items. Number 8, to Samantha Tellis from the Granite School District. She's going to, well, she's replacing Katie um, with the Title VI coordinator responsibilities. I think Samantha, I don't know if you're out there, that you've been in that school district for a while.
Yes. Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah, I've been in this capacity just for this year. I have been with Ed Equity with Granite, now Access and Opportunity for 20 years. So I've been, 10 years with the Title VI program as an outreach worker. So I've seen it on that end, and now I'm more I've been in the office and have worked in the background type thing, and now I'm the coordinator. So I'm happy to be with all of you and work with you closely. That'd be
okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for taking up that responsibility. And the Murray School District, we have a supervisor that's being replaced. Well, here's the replacement, Dr. Bruce Etchler. I don't know if he's on. I had an opportunity to email him the other day, and we talked a little bit through the email. And Claire Bedoni, she's the Title VI coordinator. So she has a new supervisor also.
Yeah, I'm here via audio. I don't know if you can hear
Okay.
me.
Yeah.
But yeah,
If you could introduce yourself, that would be nice. Where we get to know you also.
yeah, this is my 20th year in education. I was a middle school teacher. Then I got into administration. I recently left Jordan High School, go Beat Diggers, as the principal there the last 4 years. But I'm excited to come back to Murray and start this. That's where I initially started teaching and start this new role. And so, yeah, I'm excited to learn from all of you and see how I can help the Murray students.
Okay. Well, hey, welcome and thank you. We also have Lorne has a new supervisor also. It's Dr. Bree Conley. And I don't know if Lorne or Dr. Conley is on.
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm not sure if Bree's here
Okay.
yet. But yeah. Yeah, she's a great supervisor, just keeping me in check on
Okay.
things, making sure we're getting rolling on our K6 and middle school, high school students. Yeah.
Okay. So those are some new personnel around the block that are joining us and joining the group. I think the rest of the people on the list, coordinators on the list, they're coming back from last year. So, thank you for your attendance. And of course, we have the Urban Indian Center with Penelope and the Indian Training Center, Tashina Williams. Now, those are the coordinators. And again, you could use this freely. Now, we also have some red marks, asterisk marks on these title programs. Those school districts that do have red asterisk marks by them, they're recommended to have a tribal consultation. Um, and the criteria is that they receive more than $40,000 from the OIE, or they do have more than 50% of their student population is either American Indian or Alaska Native students. And I think they added one this year, which is number 13. That's Ogden. I think you made that threshold. So when we get down to the tribal consultation portion, we'll go through the steps on that. So we'll bring you on board there at that time, Monica, if you're here today. Okay.
Yes, I am. And we are actually really excited because that means we have been very diligent in making sure we're supporting our Native American students and getting their 506 forms completed. So thank you.
Yeah. So that's that 506 form is really important. We'll get to that section there also. So Let's go to the next, which is the mission statement that we have. Okay, the mission statement. Again, this is basically the same mission statement that we've used last year. And of course, the top portion of that is the Title VI programs. They have that mission statement from OIE. And that's basically is almost word for word, from the OIE and as well as the purpose. So you do have 1 and 2 program as well as the purpose that is nationwide. Now, the one portion at the bottom is the vision and mission statement. That's for our use. This is the mission statement that the Title VI coordinators put together back in 2010. And we revised that in 2017, and we revised that last year in 2024. So basically, this gives us an opportunity to use as a guideline and to use this as a springboard for our programs. And we have a mission that we are responsible for and being accountable for our programs. So this is kind of basically a guideline that we use. Okay. Let's go to the next, which is the STPD funding plan. Now, this is basically almost the same information from last year. It's just that we changed the date. We had some information that was added, and some of the, and generally speaking, this is the description that we're going to use for our spending guidelines. And I think that this guideline is been approved from my office to my supervisor as well as to the accounting and business office. So anytime that you submit information from your STPD funding, they'll match this description with the purchases that you have from your school district. And of course, there's things that we cover and things that that we cannot we cannot buy or we cannot purchase. I got Eddie takes notes. Okay, I'm seeing the edit reading. See, I think these are okay. Okay, I'm just reading some of the chat information here. So keep this very, very close to your purchase items. Anytime that you do have a question, if you have something that you're reading in between the lines, please let me know. Because again, we surely don't want to get caught where you submit all the receipts and they're questioning certain items. And I think each year, I think we're getting better. Now also, just as last year, you want to set aside your celebration honoring ceremony money. That that's around $900 plus the $950. I think they approved. And I know that some school districts are large. They have a larger population to serve. And, I'll be working on that in terms of maybe getting it to $1,000 per site that you guys can put aside for your celebration meals. So just kind of anticipate that as you start to plan for the year. Let's go to the next, which is the initiatives. That every year they'll ask about the some of the projects that's coming from my office. It's either supported or I give support to the school districts, and these are some of the items here. There's 20 items, but I'll add the 21st one is the Utah grants funding. Now we've gone through this information, each time that I do have questions in terms of if our plan is in place. And that's, of course, that's with number one, which is the easy with the ESSA plan. And this ESSA plan, again, was developed by all the Title VI coordinators a few years ago. And each year we go through that process in terms of updating. And that really sets a good foundations for us because, again, this is something that it's well supported by my office as well as administration. And the unique thing about this was developed by the Title VI coordinators. So basically it's coming from the field. Our demographics, we have the demographics of around 7,000. It fluctuates back and forth, a little up and a little bit, below the 7,000 mark. It's a K-12 program, because I've had inquiries about some of the early childhood programs such as Head Start and pre-K programs. And this program, the Title VI program, is a K-12 program. And hopefully from the OIE, maybe they'll change that, getting down to the pre-K, because that's a preparation grade level. Of course, we have 21 sites. We have monthly meetings every year. And number four, you guys set your own goals in terms of what you like to see from your program. It's either a 1 year or a 4 year submission for that. And we do have that tribal consultation that we all go through if you meet that criteria. And the coordination, which I do, and also I think what you guys do out in the field also is with other programs, Title I, Title III, Special Education Counseling, and so forth, because a lot of these students are in those categories, and those programs will pick up the count also. In some school districts, they also support that through funding, and sometimes they support that through other means such as tutorial services and materials and supplies. And of course, the annual report reflects the goals and objectives, and that's coming from your OIE. And I see that when you do submit your application, sometimes I'll take a peek at that, and I see that, especially when the funding comes back to my office, I see that the writing that how that money and the funding is being used. Professional development for our Title VI coordinators. Again, we're going to follow that same protocol as we did last year. I think Dustin is here today. I guess he's listening in. So I'll talk a little bit about him today. He's our professional development coordinator and supervisor for that. And the second part to that is, there's issues that are affecting American Indian education. And oftentimes he picks the most relevant, current, best practices approaches for that, which is very, very good, because we don't have professional development at our own site, but we offer that through our meetings. And sometimes that the materials and sometimes supplies and sometimes those books are offered at the NIE conference. So that's a good thing, but that's a national organization. So, but something here in the state, this is what we have to offer. The second part to that is the presentations that some of the local agencies that are around that we use for the updates and the services that they provide. And some of the information from there on, it's pretty well straightforward. Now, number 10, I think Everson is here, as well as Mike, Thomasia, and Eddie. Those guys were meeting where we were meeting together a few times during the summertime, and at the end of last year. The opportunity came up where the Paiute tribe they request for a class being offered in government, the Paiute government class. So that's going to become an offering for people throughout the whole state, uh, just like the Navajo government class. And it's going to be offered from the Paiute tribe. And we have a very, very good support group there. We have Sevier School District, Iron School District, as well as Washington School District, who had a lot of input into this. We had the Paiute tribe and their administration, their council, as well as the chair to the Paiute tribe. They were involved in this process because this, I think, this is way overdue in terms of what we offer to our communities. And I'm glad that this is gonna materialize in the spring 2026. So Eddie or Mike, Thomasia or Everson, you guys have anything to add to that? Okay, I guess we're all good. Um, we'll get down to the last part of that. The 19 is the regalia. I do have that regalia initiative that you know that I'm going to show that also. You know, last year we didn't have any issues. The year before that we had one, but I think it's beginning to have traction because this is again this is a state law and it's passed through all the committees as well as being supported from the legislature, and now it's law in the state of Utah. And we're only a few states that have that attached to their agendas as well as to their House bills. I think there's like 8 or 9, and there's a lot of states that do not have that. And you know, I think uh, we were fortunate that this is being supported. So, and the last is the Utah grants. You know, the grant information that I did have information yesterday. They're passing that through the next governing board meeting, which is next week. So soon after that, hopefully, you know, you will get, I'll send that information out, but I'll keep you updated. I know last year there was a big fumble. Um, you know, the fumble was that they granted they authorized way early on, but for some reason it was sitting somewhere that it kind of almost disappeared. Um, but with some inquiries and it all of a sudden it materialized, which was good. But the backdrop to that was it was given out so late. I think it was given out the first week in May, and the last day to spend that funding was June the 30th, which is very difficult. You know, you know, I understand. You know, you guys have to have plans. You guys have things that you plan for the year, and now we're only 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks for the graduation for our students, and school letting out for the summer. And all of a sudden, you have a lot of funding here. You know, it's hard to plan like that. So that was my explanation. You know, so I think they heard my voice. So it was something that now I think they're bringing it on early on now. So I think it's going through, well, it is going through the board carryover and board budgets and board funding. So, um, so anyway, that's the one. That's a good part. Um, Madeline, can you bring up the next, which is the native languages in Utah? Yeah, that one there. You know, this is information from last year. You know, oftentimes that we do have um, speakers that don't meet the criteria of a degree. And oftentimes that when you go and teach a class, you have to have you have to have teacher certification. But this document here has been signed. If you go to the next page, has been signed by the superintendent of schools. That indicates that those tribal languages, that's the 9 of there that you see, was signed by the superintendent of schools a few years ago. This gives authorizations for that person from that tribe to teach a class because they're versed in their language. And how that is determined is that the tribe will determine whether that person is versed in their language and culture. And when that happens, they'll make that recommendation to USBE, the certification office. And of course, I'm one of the uh, people in that room to say yes or no. So I think this is a really, really good process because we do have many of the languages being taught, like the Goshute as well as the Navajo. I think the Southern Ute also. And this gives authorization. And I'm also working with the uh, the coordinator or the director in Colorado because they wanted to know how that is going to materialize. They're using us as a backdrop to how the Southern Ute language is being used in that Four Corners area for their tribe in Colorado. So this document here, with that signature, it holds a lot of promises and it holds a lot of persuasion. Okay, let's go to the next. Let me see I think let me read some of these chats here. Okay, Eileen says that the money was set for professional development. Yeah. Okay. There's some of the questions. Let's uh, let's stop. Let's stop here. Um, are there are there any questions from what we've gone through so far? I want to make sure that this is all the questions are covered. Okay, if there's no questions, thank you. Okay. Oh yeah, here's one
Oh,
that. Oh, go ahead.
I have a question. This is Anne Marie. So
Okay.
going back to the Native American initiatives where you had listed 21,
Hmm.
when it says on number 8, it says MOU.
Oh, that's
What's
the
that?
agreement, the mutual agreement that we have uh, with the Navajo tribe.
Okay.
The Navajo tribe asks for the data sharing, which is all the test scores, graduation rates, and all that, that the tests that they have stored
Mm.
here at USBE. And they're not allowed to give that out to anybody. That's privileged information. So the Navajo tribe, they sent their congregation up here with the vice president as well as some of his cabinet members. And they gave a presentation to the USBE board as well as the administration
Oh.
that the sharing of information, which is the test scores, graduation, and it's all that private stuff, that it would be shared. but there has to be a criteria as to why.
Mm.
There has to be mechanisms where the transfer of information is going from a secure USBE to a secure Navajo Nation. So that was all covered, and everybody agreed. So soon after that, both parties they signed the agreement, and the agreement was that they'll share their information. Now, as far as what the tribe does with that, they're giving recommendations, and they're calculating some of the information with other states that they have with the MOU with other states. Like they have one with Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Nevada, where a large number of Navajos are at. And it seems to work because, what I understand is with Utah, we're better score wise. We're very competitive. We're a lot better than the other states. But there's one area that the Navajo were a little concerned about was the Manlito Scholarship Award. I think this past year there was only one or two. Usually in the past we've had like four or five.
Mm.
So that was just that was just basically a comment. I think the most of those Manlito Scholarship honorees or awardees are from Arizona. So that's the MOU that we have. The other piece is that the cultural piece is basically, it goes back to this that previous screen, that we do have the cultural teachers out there, and these cultural teachers are well versed with their culture and language, but they don't have a certification in teaching. But the tribe vouches for them because they go through a process of like a little sometimes we call it a test, but it's just basically something that they're versed in their
My account
culture and
was
language.
disabled, and I don't know if he was screwing around with it.
Okay. Thank you.
So okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Okay, is there any other questions? And you guys mute yourself, please. Let's go to the next, which is the ESSA, the plan that we have here. This is the plan that we put together, or you guys put together. And what I did, I just basically put it in a format that's fits the criteria of the plan that we submitted to administration here. And all the information is there in terms of what we see is, but let's go down to the appendix. This is the information that I think is most important, because this appendix here, it reflects our tribal consultation items. These are the areas in which these are very, very general items. When we do have our tribal consultation, you'll showcase your program. As you showcase your program, I'm certain that a lot of the areas that you talk about fits into these red writing areas. It's like strengthening tribal assurances, what is that? Innovation programs, data share with tribes, professional development, in-service training. Let's go to the next page, Madeline. And then the next part to that, a large area, which is the creating and strengthening educational programs, to raise academic achievement. And we do this every year. And I think that this year the challenge is that to lift the graduation rate in some of the test scores. That's one piece. The other one is participation of students as well as parents. And the third is that you share this information with one another and possibly with the tribes in terms of where your program is going. And when we walk away from the table, you hear some very outstanding things that you guys are doing out there. These are some of the programs, some of the projects that you have developed. It's a big impact to the community. It's a big impact to the students, as well as the tribe likes to hear stuff like this, because I think they're very invested in their children, that they're invested into the educational programs. The last piece of that is providing funding for the American Indian Alaska Native students. And these are some of the areas. And again, these are very, very general areas that we have, and it's and we get supported by the state legislatures as well as some of the departments here. Oftentimes, that some of the departments here, they may have not a plan for their program, and they'll waive that. And as they waive that, there's other opportunities for, like, my office to apply for that. So it really helps. Um, let's see there. The last is the objectives. Some of the objectives that we have. This is just basic general information that we have. It's an ongoing, it's an open process. We have dialogue. We pay tribute also to the stakeholders, as well as some of the agencies, local agencies that we have around. Um, this process is an ongoing process. It never ends. So these are basically some of the objectives that we have. Again, these are very, very general areas. And these are the areas that we cover during our tribal consultation items. So are there any questions
Good
on
morning,
this?
Yate.
Oh, Brenda, go ahead, Brenda.
Hold on. I think she was answering a phone call and didn't realize she was not muted.
Okay, Samantha, you have something going here. Could you just elaborate on that a little bit?
Sure, I was just answering the question in regards to resources or grants available to support our Native students in assessing, accessing counseling services. So Granite had a big resource event for our communities, and many groups and partners were there who presented what they can offer our families and our students. And a group was there called PrEP, organization that helps with mental health issues. Their flyer says that they do kind of like an overview, like they do individual therapy, medication management, case management, family education, and just occupational therapy and so forth. So they just kind of just, review the students' cases or family, and then they offer the 2 years free of specialty care program. This flyer does say they have to be a Salt Lake County resident, but they might have other locations in the state that would be available. But I put their information on their website, Utah prepteams.org.
Okay. Okay, Thomasia, I see that you're almost basically asking the same question, services for your students. I guess you say thank you. I guess that covered your question, right, Thomasia?
not to interrupt or anything, but I'm happy to send any of these flyers from this event. I did scan them all in, and I can email them to everybody if they are interested in all of these resources. I'm happy to send those over.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that would be great for us. That would be a resource that I think we may not talk about it, but at least we have that resource somewhere. So if you send it to all the coordinators, that would be great.
Absolutely, I can do that. I know some of
Okay.
the flyers do say refugee services and stuff, but is actually for all anyone in the community.
Okay. Yeah, it'd be nice. I got another comment from Thomasia that would be helping. That would be helpful for her services provided down there in Severe. Okay. Any other? Okay. Let's go to the next, which is the documentation that we're going to use for our tribal consultation. And again, this is just an updated form that we use. Again, that's from the ESSA plan, the tribal consultation, and goes through the whole process. And everybody fills their portion out. You get to the second page, those are just basically documentation that we've gone over those areas in the red. They hit all those areas, and when you do talk about those, you just make those little check marks in the boxes. You have their representation from the tribe, they print their name and a date, and as well as the LEA representative, which is you, the Title VI coordinator, and they're printing. And then you sent this information to me. This information will, the date and the time and the tribe, maybe that's attached to your ESSA or your OIE easy grant application. So I think everybody has a chance to talk to the tribe, and they listen to your recommendations as far as offering educational knowledge for their students. Okay. Let's see now the last piece here. Let me see if I can do something here. Madeline, can you go back to the first to the agenda items? And let's talk about if we could pull those up with the regalia number 11, 12, 13. And if you could click on that regalia and just see basically what it looks like. I know everybody knows what that looks like. Can you do that?
Hold on, give me just a second.
Okay. Now this is HB 30, which is the Student Tribal Regalia Use Amendment. And again, this is a document that you want to keep close, especially toward the end of the year. And it basically just explains what the regalia is and who's associated with. So you guys have that with that first page. You can click on that, and you guys, you pull up what you need, and reading through that, especially toward the end of the year, always helps. Okay. So this is basically what it looks like. And I think that, like I said before, we never had any problems last year, a year before that, or even, during those years. So, okay. Yeah, let's go to the next, which is if you can pull up the 506 form, if that's this is the 506 forms. And this is, I believe, it was updated a couple of years ago, and that you have a due date at the upper right. And again, what we want to do here is that we're going to try to use all the information electronically like we did last year. And we'll get through that, we'll go through that process as the time comes up. That, electronically, that really helps. I think, electronically, it moves things a lot quicker. And sometimes, we had a breakdown last year, but we got all the information that we needed. So it was something that it was upgraded. Now I think some of the questions that might come up is that electronically is the signatures, if they're signed electronically from the parents, is that okay? As far as my last conversation with OIE, that was a couple of years ago, that they went through, they've gone through to that stage where it could be used, electronic signatures. So, your students or your parents, when you ask for signatures, you could have your parents sign electronically. But all the other information is necessary, especially when it comes to the CIB, and it goes 2 generations back, the mother and the father and the grandmother and the grandfather. Those numbers could be used for this application. So this is I think this is something that it's well overdue also, because before it was paper pencil, you got to go knock on a door and so on and so forth. But now, if they have access to a computer and you have this link, you send it to them, and you get that answer. Now, technical difficulties sometimes happens. If that happens, email Madeline, and she'll walk you through that whole process, because she's done that with me before. I fumble every once in a while, and I ask for help, and Madeline's a very, very good resource. So, are there any questions on that? Okay.
But Dr. Foster, like, I'm your greatest resource, right? I mean, if you were counting them, you would want, it's either me or Meredith. I know it's a close run. I can't say which.
It's good to hear from you, Matthew.
Good to see you, Dr. Foster.
Yeah. Let's go to the next, which is let's go to the new application. That's where we find all the information as far as what we need to see for part 1 and part 2. Okay, this is the new application information. This basically is probably the best place to go to find your information. The first part, this is for all new applicants, but it does have information for your part 1, part 2, and even has information on the 506 form. Let's go down, let's scroll down a little bit to the next page. Let's go down a little farther. And this, the first part of this, basically, it just explains things about the general information requirements, so on and so forth. But you get down to the links now. Stop right there, right in the middle of the page. I have that 506 form. That's the same form that we just talked about. Can you scroll down a little bit more? Okay, let's scroll down one more time here. Okay, here we go. Number right here. That's good right here. Number, and the Easy Grant Part 2. If you could click on that, and it'll give you some of the information that oftentimes you're looking for. Then go to the right here and download that. Yeah. And this is what it looks like. So if you scroll down and open that up, and here's the table of contents. Oftentimes, the questions that I get a lot of times is found here. like I think last year with the parent Indian Parent Committee, their responsibilities and some of the information that you're looking for. And this will tell you basically uh, some really ground level information. Let's scroll down a little bit more. And some of the other information is like with the public hearing. I know that last year there was a couple questions on that. And basically this will tell you about the public hearings that you have. Collaboration with Indian tribes, which is the consultation. Let's see, the budget information, oftentimes that comes up. And this is the information that you have there. And again, this is basically a guideline that you could follow. Let's go back to, let's see if we can find part one to that. Part one is also important. Let's see. Oh, let's hold part one. Let's go down to the parent committee approval form. And that came up too. See, this basically, this is the parent the form that you use for getting the authorization that you've met with the parents and so on and so forth. And this is documentation for that. See, can you scroll down a little bit? And it also gives you the information as to the who those parents are or the people on the committee. A tribal rep, a teacher, a student, and then you just kind of give a scenario about the committee minutes. It doesn't have to be specific. That information can be that you meet quarterly, you meet monthly. That meeting with the parents, it's in your, that's the bylaws that you guys come up with. It's not written in this document where it has to be an absolute every month, but it's absolute that you have to have a parent committee. But as many times as you want is up to the LEAs, and that might be through the bylaws that you guys set up for yourselves. Because I know that with some of the parent committees, you meet quarterly, so it all depends. So you put that direction there. How you meet your criteria. And it doesn't have to be in great detail. It's just basically just some general information. This is information that will be recorded. So, okay, let's go back and let's try to find part one now. See, let's scroll up here. It should be here somewhere. See, I might. You see it anywhere?
I haven't seen it on any of the pages as a link.
Yeah, let's see here. Oh, let me
The link to
Okay,
this document is in the
I-
agenda that Chuck sent out.
yeah, let's see here. Let's see here.
Yeah, because it just has the 506 form.
Yeah, there should be
And it-
a
This is all on what is it, the 360
yes,
website.
right. Yeah.
On that.
Okay. Well, I think that the part one, it's in the 360, so you could find that. We just can't find part one to that. Part one is basically information that, it has a table of contents, and it just basically has some very, very general information to things that are dealing with the ESSA Part One grant. And that has some valuable information too. So if you could click on that 360 information, that you could bring up this Part One grant information, and it's if let's see here. Oh, let's try this one at the bottom. Do you see it there? Yeah, there it is. Okay. This is the part one part. If you could scroll down. And this is some of the contents there, table of contents, and sometimes you're asking for certain questions, and here are the answers to those questions that you're asking. Support resources, general information, application duration, and it gives you all some of the information that you could probably find. I'm trying to make this as easy as we can. They and some of this information, it doesn't pertain to us, like the BIE and Bureau funding and the other organizations, community-based organizations, things like that. It doesn't pertain to us. But other than that, some of the information on here, it's something that we have. Now that part, the student count, that pertains to us. So basically, you have a pretty good idea where that the how-tos, the Indian student eligibility. So this really gives you an opportunity to navigate through this, and that might answer some of your questions. Okay. Okay. You guys anybody have any questions? Okay. If there are no questions, let's move on. On other now, I have Clayton Long. If you could, are you on? You might want to talk a little bit about the beginning and ending of your Navajo language and the Navajo government class that you're offering. I don't see his name here. Okay. So let's go to the next. The Urban Indian Center, is Penelope here? I thought I saw her name here. You could give us an update of your program there. And
oh, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Yeah, so Urban Indian Center. My name is Penelope Pennicus. I'm Shoshone, Eastern Shoshone and Northern Rapo. I have a few updates, but I also feel like the Title VI coordinators, so we still have the MOUs still in place for Salt Lake, Granite, Nebo, Provo, Alpine, Tooele, and I believe those are 6 MOUs, but we're looking to expand our MOUs with other districts along the Wasatch Front, especially since we could provide more for your programs. Also, the parents, And so we've looked into also including districts into our grants. And so that might be something that you might be of interest, especially if your families are looking for eyeglasses, for example. We'd like to ensure that our parents are getting some of the assistance, not just from their insurances, but we can cover some of those expenses if we do include you in our grants. We do have a new executive director. His name is Matt Poss, but also he's been on board with our programs here with our facility for a couple of years as our finance director. So if you follow our website, uicsl.org, you may notice that you do get a pop-up with our newsletter content. So this month, we held our back to school event, which we had at least about 241 backpack distributions, but also we had 500 attendees. So thank you for the districts who were able to promote our activity, but also attend our event to get your outreach going. But also we will refer any families to the district coordinators. Today is our last day to distribute backpacks, but if you're needing us to provide any backpacks, just give me an email. Maybe we can make things happen for your side. And I noticed there's a question from Meredith.
Hi, Penelope.
Hello.
Hey, good to meet you guys this morning. My LEA only holds the MOUs for 1 year, and so if
Is it me or can I not hear?
I can't hear you either.
Okay,
I can't hear
it was
her.
just me. I am so sorry. Okay, so I think Meredith was just relaying that the MOUs might be expired. So that's good to know. We could probably provide an amended update for your district, Meredith. And we could touch base also.
Okay, there's another one here. Okay. Is there a possibility that you could send this document out to those people who have that MOU with you?
I can, if you can send me their updated emails. I feel like I'm missing emails, Dr. Foster. Okay. So that list of emails, you can send that to me.
Yeah. Hey, Madeline, put that on your to-do list. Send out the current.
Yeah, I'll need you to send it out because the one that I have has not been updated.
But the one we use today, that would be good.
That's the one that you have.
Yeah,
and
I'll send that out.
And also, like, even if we don't have an MOU, we can still come out and do outreach. Like Davis District, we attended your parent meeting. I believe Matthew with Canyons, Jordan, we've attended a few of your events. So yeah, we're looking to expand. But yeah, I think those are my major updates. I'll see you again next month. It's good to see everyone. You guys all do everyone a great service for just being there in the districts.
Oh, there's another question here, Penelope. Is this accessible only in the area, or could that go out? That's from Thomasia from Sevier School District.
I think our executive director is looking to expand the entire state. If we have MOUs where we can actually go to you, that would be great.
Okay. Let me see if there's another one here.
And Penelope, we look forward to seeing you hopefully at our gatherings this year. We would love to have you as always. You can consider it a standing invitation from Canyons to be there. I think a lot of our families that are there don't really know what the Urban Indian Center offers. You know, they live in a very in transition. A lot of the families live in transition, and it's hard to really get knowledge when you're just, moving from moment to moment. And I'm sure that Meredith would like to offer you a standing invitation also, maybe even to her house if you just wanted to come over and even move in. And I bet Sarai is on board too. So,
Yes.
Well, I don't know if my dash hound will like moving. He's not very friendly. So, but no, I think this, we work together, so we promote each other. Along with ITech, I'm on their board, Indian Training Education Center, and even with the universities, I think that's a good collaboration we can all build together. That's why I think this group is so essential for us to continue to stay strong, even though Dr. Foster, you're battling with our political side. I think that's something that we really thrive in, and we give you that support.
Yeah.
So kudos to everyone. Thank you.
All right. Hey, thanks, Penelope.
Hey, Dr. Foster, a quick note on that with the battle of the political thing. I wrote our senators about the importance of the Title VI grant. I don't know why we escaped the chopping block when so many other grants did not. For some reason, the Trump administration seems to like Native American, at least culture. But I would tell everybody it's worth the time to reach out to our senators and let them know what we do, and why Title VI is so valuable. I mean, not that all these programs aren't valuable, but you take away Title VI and our kids are not, they'll vanish.
Just to give you an update on that funding for all the educational programs, and yeah, Matthew, you're correct on that. They restored all the funding for this year now to all the American Indian programs. That includes higher ed programs, the Indian colleges, the university, like at Haskell and Crown Point.
Is that just this year?
SIPI, So it's
it's not like for future, just only this year.
Yeah, so far we're safe this year. So we'll get our funding, but through the year, I'm pretty sure that the National Congress, American Indians, NIEA, as well as the Child Welfare Act organizations, all of those people are coming together, and they're pressuring the Senate on Indian Affairs to restore all the funding and keep that funding continuing. So we'll probably hear a little bit more about that during the convention with the NIEA this year. But that's the information I got the latest in terms of that. And it seems that they're going to restore all that information back to the Indian treaties and their organizations. So it's all Indian, organizations that's, like the healthcare, the IHS, some of the SNAP programs, early childhood, even some of the communities on the Indian community, they have still have the Meal on Wheels. So those are, they're being restored, but we, as Indian people, we like to continue that because that really affects the community. It affects our students. It affects everybody all the way around. So, okay. And I got, NA and NIEA. So, and I got another, well, if I could have Tashina Williams, is she still on? Just talk a little bit about, and just to remind them about the Indian Training Center and their program. Is she on?
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Tashina Williams. I'm the director here at the Indian Training Education Center. An update that I have is we filled up our youth club. We have 20 students throughout the valley. I had one question though for the coordinators. I'm trying to figure out which districts give free bus passes to their students and which do not, so I can provide that for our high school students. I did have Vita send out an email to everyone, so if you guys could please respond to her to let us know, that'd be great. But we're here. We have adult services. Like I said, we help our youth as well. We give a monthly stipend for students to attend school, get good grades, and graduate. We had 7 seniors that graduated last year. Kudos for them. We're happy. But if you have anybody who's looking for resources, we're here. We're happy to help. We're trying to get out there to spread the word about iTech. We've been here. It's going to be 37 years now at the end of August. But we are doing very well. We're getting a lot more clients through the state of Utah. We cover the whole state of Utah. So I'm just happy to be here. Thank you.
Okay, you got a response with Nick West from Jordan.
Jordan School District. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Notate that. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, your coordinators, if you have information on that, if you could send Tashina the update on that bus passes, because working together is really important. And with her calculations, you know, some of she may get a little bit more funding for that. And if we don't have any bus passes being exchanged, you know, that and we do need it sometimes. It would really help out Tashina on that update. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Foster.
Okay, thank you. Is Stephanie or Shannon Sagers, are they on? You know, if you could give us an update on the Go Shoot language. They're on. Okay, I guess they're not. Well, that concludes our session today. Now, are there any questions that you guys want to ask? And we'll see what we can do to help and if I can answer.
Dr. Foster, this is Sarai.
Okay.
I just have been wondering if we have any resources besides like Sacred Circle to help our kids with behavioral health. Because I think behavioral health has to be Native oriented for our Native kids. I know other places are helpful, but I was just wondering if we have any other behavioral health places that we can use.
You know, right now, that's the only place that I know of. Plus, the Urban Indian Center may have contacts, but I think our resources are very, very limited to those 2 areas.
Do the tribes not have anything for behavioral health by themselves? You know what I mean?
You know, I don't know. Let me check on that.
I was just wondering because I think that's a big help ever since COVID. I think our kids have been struggling more and more with mental health, you know, and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, let me, you know, I'll check on that, and with the local tribes, I'll ask. Yeah, okay. Anybody else have a question? Any questions?
Oh, when are we thinking about getting our state funding? Do they have it's just in the process, right?
Yeah, right now it's yesterday and the day before I completed my side of the request. And next week it's going to go before the board, because the board meets every month, the first of the week of the month. They go through that process, and you know, it's they just hit the galvin, yes or no, you know. And the past years, they always said yes. You know, I don't see anything different. As soon as I get that information, I'll send that information out to everybody.
Thanks, you're the best. Okay.
Oh,
Dr. Foster, just a plug for those who may not know how to use that funding that we get from you and your office.
uh-huh.
you know, establishing a partnership with Sylvan Learning Centers for some of your children most in need of academic support. I mean, if you don't have a use for that money, then that is a really, really good way of spending it. Our kids have seen just complete academic transformations through this partnership. And this is our third year going. It's our third year, right, Kaya? It's our third year going into our partnership with Sylvan. If you don't know how to spend the state money, reach out to Sylvan and see what you can do for your kids.
Okay.
Or send it to Meredith, one of the two. I don't know.
Don't send it to me. Don't.
Okay. Any other information that you want to share? Okay. I don't have other information that I have other than what was presented today. Our next meeting will be September 26th. Again, it's on a Friday at 9 o'clock. You know, I don't know exactly how many of you are planning to attend the NIEA conference this year. It's in Seattle, Washington this year, and but I think they'll give us some information in terms of funding. You know, that's just basically some general information on that. So, any other questions? If not, we'll see you on the September 26th. Brooklyn, if you're on, could I have a word with you just a little bit? Other than that,
Yeah.
hey, we'll see you guys the 26th.
Yeah, I'm on